All right, wine video number 2 for 2023 summer. A couple of big changes when we're talking about these wines. We are into crisp and structured, and then we're going to do one Chardonnay all day. But these are some major changes in the crisp and structured. Since day one that we opened Blue Island 7-8 years ago, we always have had a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc on the menu. Most recently, it was the Withered Hills. We are unable to source the Withered Hills, and through my experience tasting different Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand, I felt like with the price increases that we were taking, I was unable to find a quality New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc that I felt could stand up to our food in this restaurant. And so we are taking a sharp right turn. We're staying with Sauvignon Blanc, but we have come back to the United States, and we decided to go with the Central Coast Justin. Justin, obviously a huge player in the world of Cabernet. Most probably notably known for the Isosceles, which is their cab blend. Super high-end. People who like California wine, without a doubt, know Justin. Their Sauvignon Blanc is just a really, really great wine, unlike New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. And this is going to be the difference that, as a server, you need to know, right? Is that this is not the overly tropical, grapefruity, cat pea Sauvignon Blanc. This is California Sauvignon Blanc. I think it's a little bit more green. It has a lot more mineral, more like a French Sauvignon Blanc. To me, it's got a lot of ripe fruit, like white peaches and things, and stone fruit versus those tropical grapefruity notes. Yeah. Tell me about, because you're dealing with this right now. Hey, I want New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Hey, we don't have that, but we have this. Where do you go from there?
That's the problem, is anybody that truly wants New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, there's not really going to be a substitute. For me, it's always, like Sean was saying, it's grapefruit more than anything. It's grapefruit and a little bit of, as Sean said, the cat pea that people are kind of looking for. But to be honest, I don't have a lot of people that specifically say, I want to have New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. They just tend to know that, and that tends to be what they're used to. So most of the time, you get something else in their hand, especially something that's got quality to it, like Justin Sauvignon Blanc. They're really not, if you didn't tell them, they probably wouldn't even notice the difference, and most of the time they'll be happy. This guy, like Sean was saying, is more passion fruit peaches than grapefruits, and it's definitely a little more herbal. And one of the characteristics that get forgotten a lot with Sauvignon Blancs, because of the popularity of New Zealand, is the pepper. You definitely get a little bit of like green bell pepper on the palate with this, and that combined with the peach and passion fruit actually tends to make for like kind of a really lively, like fun, easy to drink white wine. So yes, you're always going to get a little bit of pushback about not having New Zealand, but I think this is absolutely a great change. I think it goes well with the food that we serve, and I think most people that you can actually get to try this are going to be more than happy with what they're drinking.
I think it's a really, you nailed the passion fruit and peach, which are like two of my favorite things in the world, which is passion fruit. Like, who doesn't like passion fruit and peaches? But this is a really welcoming wine, which I feel like, to be honest, sometimes, for me, I don't like New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs. I'm going to throw it out there. And guess what? I got to write the wine list, so on and so forth. But, I know that if our guests do want that, then I wish we could find a right replacement. But, again, this wine is so welcoming, like you said, that I think if you put it in front of somebody, like, they're not going to, like, if you want white wine and you want Sauvignon Blanc, like, this is not going to offend you. Like, this is a really great wine. Now, for like we want to go to the next level, and our other big change was Sancerre. You just can't get Sancerre. Like, it doesn't exist at by the glass pricing right now. It's become super popular. It just doesn't exist. To try to have an $18 to $21 Sancerre, non-existent. Now, Pascal Jolivet, which makes Sancerre, which makes amazing Sancerre, also makes this wine, right? Which is the Attitude. So just west of Sancerre, it's like, hey, we're at Blue Island Cherry Creek right now. If we go and we're making Sancerre, if we walk over to north, that's where those same Sauvignon Blanc grapes are being grown, right? They're legitimately but we crossed the street, so we're no longer in Sancerre. So if someone's looking for a Sancerre, this is as close as you're going to get to it as a white wine from Sancerre. So this is the Attitude Sauvignon Blanc. You're going to get green apple, you're going to get lemon, you're going to get citrus, you're going to get all those minerals, all the same type of great expressions that you get from Sancerre, you're going to get in this wine. But of course, it's at an affordable price by the glass. So this is the upsell at $18. This is a very well-known wine. It'll sell itself. It's fabulous. I love it. I would drink this all day with oysters. You know, you kind of lose that edge, you know, when you get...
It's got slightly less minerality. It actually gets a little bit of lees aging, which I don't know if Sancerre generally gets that as well. So what that does is that adds just kind of a hint of, you know, maybe brioche, maybe vanilla, some kind of cooking spice bread element to it.
You get the weight on the tongue.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a little more mouthfeel to it. But like you were saying, it's essentially the cheat code for Sancerre these days. Like Sancerre is a pretty small region in France. It's gotten very, very popular, so it's becoming harder and harder to compete with everybody else that wants to get this. Most people don't even know about just west of Sancerre. It doesn't have the same prestige. It's not considered the same wine, even though it's being grown in almost exactly the same conditions with exactly the same type of grape and exactly the same kind of winemaking. So it for all intents and purposes, can be Sancerre, but just for half the price, but still all of the kind of flavor, all the good things you're looking for, that crisp, biting structure, soft kind of ripe fruit. Like I said, a little bit of fun with the lees aging to give it just a little bit more complexity, a little bit more weight than the old Sancerre had.
All right, next up, we're moving away from Sauvignon Blanc. We're jumping into that other notorious white grape, which is Chardonnay. This is the Vincente White Burgundy. This is the first time in Blue Island's history that we've had a white Burgundy that wasn't Chablis on the menu. So this is just this is from the Macon, which is Southern Burgundy, which you know, summertime's in the south, right? Like a lot warmer. So what's that going to do? Warm weather drives riper fruits, higher sugars. In white Burgundies, you're getting, bring up the brioche again, you got brioche, you've got vanilla, you know, you've got oak on this wine. I love white Burgundy. It's got a sophistication to it that I want to drink when I'm in Blue Island. This is when I visit, you know, our restaurants with my family, I drink this. So, you know, it's just a great Chardonnay from France, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's not American Chardonnay, so it's not that big oak bomb. You're getting more of the minerals, right? And just sophistication.
Yeah, I would say you compare this to the old Chablis that we used to carry by the glass, or even the Devil's Corner, which we were running before this. And like Sean said, you're gonna have nice fruit. It gets a little bit of oak aging, so you will get kind of vanilla. You'll get cooking spices. You get brioche, but not to the same extent as American Chardonnay, but more so than our old Chablis by the glass or the Devil's Corner. You just get a little more flavor to it. You're still getting light citrus, you're still getting dry, but it's not quite as bone dry on the palate. It's a little bit softer, a little bis more playful, still pairs great with everything, but I would say that compared to like the old Chablis, I honestly find this a little more easy to drink just by itself. I felt like with the Chablis, they were so dry, they really wanted to have some sort of food in front of you to kind of help work with those acids. This guy, I can just sit out on a hot patio and sip it all by itself.
Yeah, I think this is a wine that you can start with and end with. I feel like it's got the structure to hold up to all of our food items, but yeah, it's got the lightness, like you said, to say, hey, I just want oysters in this. Very, very sophisticated wine. You know, they've been making wine for hundreds and hundreds of years. So just an absolute great wine. Nice addition to the list.